they can't tell the difference. To an artificial mind, all reality is virtual. How do they know that the real world isn't just another simulation? How do you? The Matrix is surely the kind of film about the Matrix that the Matrix would have been able to produce. Once men turned their thinking over to machines in the hope that this would set them free, but that only permitted other men with machines to enslave them. When the Matrix was first built, there was a man born inside who had the ability to change whatever he wanted, to remake the Matrix as he saw fit. It was he who freed the first of us, taught us the truth. As long as the Matrix exists, the human race will never be free. This is only a foretaste of what is to come, and only the shadow of what is going to be. We have to have some experience with the machine before we really know its capabilities. It may take years before we settle down to the new possibilities, but I do not see why it should not enter any one of the fields normally covered by the human intellect and eventually compete on equal terms. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind. That you are a slave, Neo, like everyone else you were born into bondage, into a prison that you cannot taste or see or touch, a prison for your mind. It is the magician's bargain. Give up our soul, get power in return. But once our souls, that is, ourselves, have been given up, the power thus conferred will not belong to us. We shall in fact be the slaves and puppets of that to which we have given our souls. The primary political and philosophical issue of the next century will be the definition of who we are. So whether information represents one man's sentimental archive, the accumulating knowledge base of the human-machine civilization, or the mind files stored in our brains, what can we conclude about the ultimate longevity of software? The answer is simply this: information lasts only so long as someone cares about it. I am convinced that creativity is a priori to the integrity of the universe, and that life is regenerative and conformity meaningless. Being in love, we create love. Being in hate, we create hate. And, the image of the universe being in ourselves, the love or hate we create acts equally upon us. Not so very long ago, however, such self-governing peoples were the majority of humankind. Today, they are seen from the Valley Kingdoms as our living ancestors. What we were like before we discovered wet rice cultivation, Buddhism, and civilization. On the contrary, I argue that hill peoples are best understood as runaway, fugitive, maroon communities who have, over the course of 2 millennia, been fleeing the oppressions of state-making projects in the valleys, slavery, conscription, taxes, corvée labor, epidemics, and warfare. As we see it, the whole outlook brought about by the scientific revolution should have been, must be, a phase only of the evolution of consciousness. An absolutely indispensable phase, but a passing one. What does a scanner see? Into the head? Down into the heart? Does it see into me? Into us? Clearly or darkly? I hope it sees clearly because I can't any longer see into myself. I see only murk. I hope for everyone's sake the scanners do better, because if the scanner sees only darkly the way I do, then I'm cursed and cursed again. It is the real and not the map, whose vestiges persist here and there in the deserts that are no longer those of the empire but ours, the desert of the real itself. The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters. The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged, and many of them are so inured, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it.